Welcome to our look ahead to the technology we expect to see in 2023. We've dusted off our crystal ball in order to bring you a preview of some of the key products, trends and developments that you should be aware of for the next 12 months and beyond. Some may be important product launches, others the slower evolution of new technologies and interfaces that will shift how businesses may upgrade their infrastructures. Either way, 2023 promises to be an exciting year. So let's start by looking at the underlying trends that we're likely to see over the next 12 months. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that online working and collaboration exploded, and this isn't going to change anytime soon, with further developments in virtual reality and augmented reality expected to drive greater immersive experiences. Building on these platforms is the concept of the metaverse. Although beginning to be used in 2022, it's very likely to become a reality in many businesses in 2023. Companies such as Nvidia have been developing their Omniverse platform for a number of years, but advances in network bandwidth and the advent of proper interoperability standards is making these online cloud-based collaboration platforms genuinely usable. As these cloud collaboration solutions rely on powerful hardware in the data center, 2023 will see renewed competition between the two big players in server CPU space, Intel and AMD. Late 2022 saw the launch of AMD 4th Gen EPYC Genoa CPUs, and January 2023 will see Intel 4th Gen Xeon Sapphire Rapid CPUs, both featuring DDR5, PCIe 5 and CXL support. Although Xeon moves from 40 cores to 60, the AMD models go one step further to 96 cores, and with the Bergamo CPUs launching later in Q1, we'll see 128 cores. Not only that, but the Bergamo uses Zen 4C cores, where the C means cloud optimized. The Zen 4C core has been redesigned to have the same functionality but offer more density combined with a different power performance point. This is going to affect power consumption, efficiency and likely the range of frequencies available. AMD's confirmed that Bergamo is likely to see the power window of enterprise CPUs expand too. Normally we see server CPUs in the 65 to 280 watt range, but Zen 4C will go further to cater for specific cloud use cases that might rely on density, performance or efficiency. The Zen 4C core is likely to be smaller in order to fit 128 cores and have different amounts of cache to Zen 4. Look out for more videos as the launch approaches. Although the Xeon models have a lower core count and a larger process, they do introduce dedicated accelerators aimed at offloading workloads from the main cores and driving the performance of specific tasks such as scientific computing, AI, networking, storage and cloud. Which drives the best performance for 2023 and beyond, we'll have to wait and see. Intel promises their 5th Gen Xeon Emerald Rapids processors with up to 64 cores later this year. To further add to the mix, we expect to see the launch of the Nvidia Grace CPU too. As opposed to the Intel and AMD x86 CPUs, this one is ARM-based and features 144 Neoverse V2 cores and a 900 GB per second coherent interface, claimed to be 7 times faster than PCIe 5. It's no surprise coming from Nvidia that the Grace CPU is designed for AI and HPC workloads and to work seamlessly with its data center Hopper GPUs and Bluefield DPUs. Now, speaking of DPUs, Nvidia is no longer the only joined-up player in this market, with Intel expected to commercially launch both its Max GPUs and IPUs, which are DPUs under a different name. The Max series GPUs deliver up to 128 Xe HPC cores, a new foundational architecture targeted at the most demanding computing workloads. Additionally, the Max series GPU will feature 408 megabytes of L2 cache, the highest in the industry, and 64 megabytes of L1 cache to increase throughput and performance, with Intel claiming it's the only HPC and AI GPU with native ray tracing acceleration. We understand that the Max series GPUs will be available in several form factors to address different customer needs based on an X4 GPU carrier board with Intel Xe Link to enable high-performance multi-GPU communication within the subsystem. Similarly, with the purchase of Xilinx and Passando, AMD now has a range of DPUs and FPGAs to go with its existing CPUs and GPUs. Having said that, Nvidia is maybe ahead of the game here, as its third-gen Bluefield DPUs are due in 2023 and already incorporate GPU technology. Moving away from the server components and looking at the wider data center trends, we commonly see between 200 and 280 watt TDP for CPUs these days and 250 to 400 for GPUs. However, this year we'll start to see CPUs use well over 300 watts and GPUs hit 600 watts and higher. Additionally, PCIe 5 and components such as the EDS-FF SSDs will put more pressure to create denser systems with higher power needs on devices away from the CPU and GPU. With these factors in mind, data center liquid cooling is going to be essential. Currently, liquid is already in widespread use to address cooling of the data center interior, but where more challenges lie are in the rack space and server interiors. In practical terms, this means that many facilities designed around 5 to 15 kilowatt racks are now faced with situations where standard 1U servers are using 1 kilowatt each. Cooling for these facilities is simply not designed to keep up with the heat output of new servers. So novel solutions, including rear rack door heat exchangers or immersion tanks, are being deployed to effectively liquid cool the rack cabinet. Even at the chip level, we've just started to hit a point where liquid cooling is required. With the 500 watt NVIDIA A100, the vast majority of 8X GPU designs need to be liquid cooled. Some 4X GPU designs with half of the rack density can cool 500 watt GPUs, but require stringent and low facility ambient temperatures for air cooling to be effective. And this is because at a chip level, heat must be removed from the surface of the package. With only a limited amount of surface area, the rate of heat removal needs to increase over that surface area. So we're starting to see servers of this type coming to market with super micro models already available. Alongside this trend for higher power servers and liquid cooling is the change in how servers may be configured due to the launch of CXL. Compute Express Link has the potential to radically change the way systems and data centers are built and operated, as it defines a common cache coherent interface for connecting CPUs, memory accelerators and other peripherals. With the first CXL compatible systems available in 2023 using either Intel's 4th Gen Xeons and AMD 4th Gen EPYC, one of the first implementations for CXL will likely involve system memory. Until now, there have only been two ways to add more memory to an accelerator. Either you add more DIMM slots on the motherboard, or it had to be integrated directly onto the accelerator package. With CXL, you can put memory on the PCIe bus, so instead of populating a system with more or larger memory modules, additional memory can be installed via a PCIe card using a common interface for PCIe and CXL, and thanks to the simple switching systems that will be introduced with the CXL 2.0 standard, it will become possible for resources, including memory, to be pooled and accessed by multiple systems simultaneously. Another use case involves tiered memory architectures, in which a system utilises high bandwidth memory on the package, a sizable pool of fast DDR5 memory directly attached to the CPU, and a larger pool of slower memory attached via a CXL module. We also expect CXL to benefit deep learning and AI workloads by enabling a much more intimate relationship between the CPU, AI accelerator and/or GPU than is currently possible over PCIe. Whilst we're on the topic of data center architectures, we need to mention OAM too. OAM stands for Open Accelerator Module and is derived from the Open Compute Platform, or OCP. It's an attempt to drive a common interface for accelerator cards and is likely to have a wide-ranging impact on server design and configurations, as it's supported by the likes of AMD, Google, Intel, Meta, Microsoft and Nvidia. The OAM format is likely to resemble larger versions of the current SXM2 format and will probably develop alongside CXL. Lastly, it's worth throwing the advent of 800 gigabit networking into the data center mix too, as this will be required to cope with ever complex workflows and larger data sets. All this development in technology could easily revolutionise workload and application performance, driving adoption of cloud-based collaboration platforms such as NVIDIA Omniverse, which is heavily reliant on high-count CPU cores, powerful GPUs, DPUs and fast networking. However, this modular approach, offloading specific tasks to individual devices within the server, drives up the number of chips required across all these components. Process improvements from 7 to 5 and 3 nanometer over the next year and beyond will offer denser processing units with increasing cores. But we've all been aware of the recent global chip shortages. So there's a trade-off between the relentless evolution of compute technology versus the capacity to manufacture and fulfill demand. Furthermore, chip supply isn't just about servers and server components either. As electric vehicle production demand increases, your old car may have been controlled by a computer chip for some of its functions. But modern EVs are now essentially a package of chips and sensors, detecting their surroundings and capable of over-the-air software updates to add features and fix problems. Couple this with delivery drones, smart fridges, phones and so on. The demand for chips has never been higher, with the world's largest semiconductor fab, TSMC, located in Taiwan. The largest tech companies are fighting for production quotas, while simultaneously keeping one eye on the heightened political tensions in that region. In the US alone, the CHIPS Act, approved in August last year, provides $52 billion in grants and subsidies for new fabs and has elicited a flurry of investor responses. At least 7 major semiconductor companies plan to build more than $200 billion in fabs in the coming years. However, new fabs will take years to build and equip before production can start. With this in mind, many analysts have termed Q4 of 2022 and much of 2023 as a correction period, which will likely result in reduced orders and revenues for chip producers. The outlook is that the market will still be unpredictable into 2024 and perhaps even 2025. Another factor having a global impact is rising inflation and the increasing cost of power. Whether considering high-performance computing, car charging, or even basic business energy costs, the advancements in technology that we highlighted in this video will need to deliver enough efficiency benefits or long-term cost saving to remain attractive, with expenses significantly increasing in almost every other part of business. The resulting adoption of these technologies may be impacted accordingly, regardless of market delays. So there you go, hopefully you found our look ahead useful in what to keep an eye out for and the possible impacts that they may have. Don't forget though to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future content as these technologies launch over the next 12 months.